بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها.
7 rapid oaths are made in the beginning of Surat Al Shams. 7 oaths are made by natural phenomena: the sun, moon, day, night, sky, earth, and soul. In Arabic rhetoric, taking an oath adds seriousness and demands attention. The Quran's use of oaths by cosmic objects, not by humans, magnifies the gravity of the message. It says, "By the greatest things you know, listen carefully." Notice the repeating ha ending sounds. ضحاها تلاها جلاها يغشاها فجورها تقواها. This internal rhyming makes it flow like thunder and waves, extremely hypnotic when recited. This kind of intense repetition is hard to pull off without sounding monotonous. But here it creates a mounting tension, building anticipation for the final point. Rapid accumulation and a climax in the end. The build-up through the oaths is like climbing a mountain. Each cosmic phenomenon is bigger and grander in its intrinsic value. However, the verses start with the materially bigger and grander creations. From the sun, zooming into the soul, humans. It's a bit of a pyramid and an inverse pyramid. The climax is reached when it moves from the outer universe to the inner world of the human soul. This pivot from the sun and moon to you, your own soul, is shocking and powerful. It forces the listener inward. And let's look at some of the word choices here, the precision of the words. We have the word sawaha. He proportioned it, indicates perfect balance and design in the human soul. Alhamaha, he inspired it, suggesting a divine whispering of both good and evil tendencies. Zakaha purifies it, implies growth, flourishing through purification. And Dasaha, corrupt it, suggests hiding or dirtying of the soul. After swearing by the cosmos, the Quran makes a moral statement. Success is purifying your soul. Failure is corrupting it. The connection is profound. Just as the cosmos follows precise natural laws, your soul must follow moral laws, or else it falls into ruin. The form, beautiful rolling oaths, matches the content, the majesty and responsibility of existence. The sound, rhythmic, intense, amplifies the meaning, seriousness of existence. It turns a cosmic, almost scientific contemplation into an urgent personal moral call in 10 short, crushingly beautiful verses. Let's look at the first ayah again. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا, by the sun and its brightness. Why say the sun and its brightness? Why not just the bright sun? The separate mentioning of the sun and brightness as two things draws attention to two layers of meaning. The sun as a physical object, material creation, and the sun's spreading of light. impact, energy, blessings. This is one of the things that the Quran does so beautifully. It just packs so much meaning into very, very, very small sentences. And again, we are going through only the tip of the iceberg here. The Quran is so full of these beautiful miracles of linguistics that could take us days and days and days to cover fully. Just covering the first 10 verses here of Surat Al Shams. And yeah, it's gonna take a whole video to do that, and we're still barely scratching the surface. So the sun is a physical object, and the sun's spreading of light. If it had said the bright sun, it would only stress one idea. But by separating them, it magnifies both the sun's existence and its gift of light independently. Mentioning the source and its effect separately amplifies magnificence. وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا, the second verse, and by the moon when it follows it. Why mention the moon following the sun? Because it introduces the cycle of time, day leading into light. Talaha follows it, suggests smooth succession, not violent change, emphasizing cosmic harmony. Even the word sounds smooth, talaha. Linguistically, the verb is pushed later to create suspense. We hear the moon and wait, what's with the moon? Then hear when it follows it, completing the idea dramatically. So it's not when it's followed by the moon, we start with the moon, when it follows it. It's a rhetorical device, delaying for the sake of sharp attention. And then it goes on, وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا. Jalla, to reveal, literally making something clear, crystal clear, shining. Yaghsha, covers something with layers like a blanket. This mirrors how the day reveals the full face of the earth and life blossoms. Night wraps the world in mystery. Notice again the action is delayed by the day when it reveals, building anticipation. And then the next verses, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا. Here the pattern shifts. Instead of just swearing by the sky and the earth, it swears by the sky and by the one who built it. It indirectly refers to God, but without naming God. This creates an overwhelming awe. The creation is so great that even the reference to its creator is hinted in a majestic, veiled way. This shift heightens the seriousness of the oaths as the listener moves towards thinking about the ultimate creator. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. Moving now to the human soul, the final pivot. Nafs is placed last amongst the cosmic oaths, making it the most honored. Sawaha fashioned it, suggesting perfect balance. The soul is not random, it's carefully and artfully made. The pivot from cosmic grandeur to the inner world shows that the soul itself is a microcosm of the universe, majestic, vast, mysterious. Fujur, wickedness, is mentioned before taqwa, righteousness. Why? To emphasize that corruption is easy and near at hand, but taqwa requires effort and victory over the soul. This sequencing creates emotional realism. Humans face a real internal battle. And the final verses we are looking at today. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. The Quran does not say maybe you succeed or you try to succeed. It says قَدْ أَفْلَحَ. He has certainly succeeded, absolutely, very definitive. وَقَدْ خَابَ. He has certainly failed. No uncertainty. Structure is binary. You either succeed or fail, based on the conditions of your soul. No third option. Another layer of beauty to these verses is the sound patterns in the surah. Listen to it. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا. These are the first few verses. And they sound expansive. They mimic the vastness of the cosmos, like a wide sky, a spreading day, a sweeping night. You'll see the contrast in a bit to the other verses that are more serious. It's dominated by wide, airy sounds. تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها. Lots of sounds and fathas. And the consonants are gentle, like sh and Then it starts getting a bit more serious. And we have heavier consonants here. When it's getting closer to the soul, to the human. والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها. A subtle tightening of emotional space. We are getting closer to Earth and human life. And that's where things are serious. That's where things matter. And then it gets a lot more serious when it's talking about the distinction between good and evil. فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. Dominated by qaf and ja, and the consonants are harsh and cracking sounds, and it's very, very different. The syllables are shorter. فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. Feels pressured, decisive, compared to والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها. And then at the end of the verse we're looking at فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. Decisive. Even the word choices, taqwaha and fujuraha, we can even zoom into those and we can examine their beauty. The word fujuraha comes from the root fajara, which originally means to burst open, to rip apart. The word infijar comes from the same explosion, comes from the same root. In a moral sense, it means shameless rebellion, explosive sinning, breaking moral boundaries openly. It's not just doing wrong, it's kind of violent open defiance. The word carries imagery of a rupture, like water bursting from the earth. Fajr is also dawn, when light bursts into the world. Here it is suggested that evil behavior is explosive and destabilizing. It tears apart the soul's natural order. Whereas taqwa, on the other side, righteousness, comes from the root waqa, which means to guard, to shield, to protect. In a moral sense, it means being conscious of God's presence, protecting oneself from sin, building an internal shield against disobedience. It suggests careful and deliberate defensive action. It's defensive, building strength inwardly. It's not natural. You have to work for it. You have to protect yourself. It's an active cultivation of mindfulness and righteousness. Why not say taqwa then fujur? It says fujur first, but then follows with taqwa. So righteousness. So it starts with the evil fujur, and then follows it with taqwa, righteousness. Because the Quran is describing how the human soul actually experiences inner life. Human first face raw impulses. That's the natural. The Quran is perhaps hinting that the natural impulse of humans is fujur, anger, greed, lust, pride. Then, through reflection and discipline, they develop taqwa, the shield against these forces. Fujur is like the default wild nature, impulsive, undisciplined, natural state. Taqwa is the trained, elevated state, conscious, righteous. Thus, first the test, and then the victory.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها فلا يخاف عقباها.
مع تحيات الفجر للإعلام الإسلامي.